In today's lesson, we're going to go over the E major chord and apply it to chord progressions used in songs like What I Like About You by the Romantics, 8 Days a Week by the Beatles, and Allison Road by the Gin Blossoms. All right, let's get started. Okay, so the E major chord is very similar to that E minor chord that we learned with the second and third fingers down. So why don't we start there? Basically, all we're going to do to create an E major is put down the first finger on the first fret of the third string. So now you have the open sixth string, the second fret of the fifth string with the second finger, the second fret of the fourth string with the third finger, the first fret of the third string with the first finger, and then open second string, open first string. All right, now we're going to take that E major chord and we're going to work out a chord progression. So let's start on the E, then go to the A, go to the D, and back to the A. We're going to do 2 strums each. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, and then A for 2 strums, and then D, back to A, and repeat. To the A chord, and then D, back to A. And let's resolve to the E chord. All right, now we're going to take that chord progression and add some eighth notes. So it'll sound like this. That's actually the chord progression for the song What I Like About You by the Romantics. All right, let's start a little bit slower. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have E, A, D, A. All right, now the next 2 chord progressions are the intro and verse parts for the song 8 Days a Week by the Beatles. So with the first progression, we're going to start on the D chord. We're going to do a dotted quarter note to eighth note, quarter note, quarter note. So it'll sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 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 All right, so play along with me. We'll start very slowly. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. E and 2 and 3, 4. To the G. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Back to D. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. All right, now the next progression, the verse part for 8 Days a Week, starts on the D chord, and we're going to use swung eighth notes, and don't forget to switch on the and of 4. So it's going to sound like this. All right, so play along with me. We'll start very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, 2, a 3, a 4. Switch. 1, 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, 2, a 3, a 4, a 1. Switch. 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 All right, now the final chord progression for today is from Allison Road by the Gin Blossoms. Now we're going to be starting on an A chord, and we have A on beat 1, and then on the first half of beat 2, and then on the and of 2 we switch to the E, and then on beat 3, 4, and we have the E as well. And now on the next measure we go to the A sus4, 1 and 2. Now on the and of 2 we switch to the A, do an upstroke, hold that through the first half of beat 3. Now on the and of 3 we lift the third finger off for the A sus2, do an upstroke, hold that through the first half of beat 4, and then an upstroke to finish out the progression. Alright, so it'll sound like this. Alright, so let's try that together very slowly. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 let's try it together a little bit quicker. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Alright, excellent work today. So just hop on over to the practice button and we'll work out all the chord progressions we went over in today's lesson. Alright, have fun, and I will see you next time.